Good morning, kinfolk. Good morning to you wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well, living in your truth, allowing the divine and your spiritual team to guide you and give you anything and everything that you need in order to be your fullest and your greatest. So my last video was about the different ways our intuition uses to communicate with us, also known as the four clairs: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. Two more clairs have come to my attention since then. Now let me see if I can get this right. Clairgustance and clairalience. I hope I've pronounced them both right. So obviously having all the clairs, all the various clairs raining down on you when it comes to your awareness that you have, a few of those powers. And it can really make you feel a bit destabilized, for want of another word. And unfortunately, it's a bit like that saying, once you see something, you can't unsee it, basically. So yes, it's a bit of a shock to the system, and living in your purpose isn't for the faint-hearted. It's definitely not for the masses also. It's also a journey that can be seen as a solo journey. You might come across people and events, as a result, can help you along your path, help you and trigger you to find that power within yourself so that you can remember who you are and go to the next level. But you need to be reminded that this path has been actually chosen by you. Or should I say it's been chosen by you before you came upon this plane. This mission we're on is actually a really big deal and therefore becomes our only task once it's in our awareness. The divine told me that. I had a little wobble quite recently and thought for a minute about fashion. I thought about it from a perspective of who I am as of now, at the present. And so with the huge growth that's taken place over the last few years or so, and all the other development that's also happened within me, now that I have that new, oh God, it's a bit noisy in the room I'm in today, so please forgive me for any noise. With all that I stand for now, with all my newfound strength and knowledge and fortitude, could I do it again? I started thinking. Yeah, I have to admit, that didn't last very long. I answered the question just as quickly as I asked it. What would I bring into the world apart from garments that might help a few feel a sense of appreciation and confidence? That's a great thing in itself, don't get me wrong. But for me now, what is in my mind's eye is what I can do to help to lift the vibration of the planet. I know it's got really serious in my world recently. I don't know how to have fun. I'm only kidding, of course I do. The planet and its occupants, they're operating from a low vibrating state. Therefore, there's a real need for us to play our part in raising the consciousness. Yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. What is my part? How do I play a part? I know it's a bit heavy, but it's a serious thing. There's a spiritual warfare going on out there, for those that don't know. I've been paying attention recently to a lot of information that is coming my way about the great awakening of the consciousness and the rising of the 144,000, the chosen ones, the awakened ones. Whichever way you may look at it, or whichever way it might have come into your consciousness. According to popular belief, the earth is going through a transformation, and as part of that transformation, we as the awoken ones are being reminded and asked to step into our purpose, into our mission, the thing that we came here in originally to actually do. I don't know how you feel about that. Do you feel like you are being asked to do something that is very different from what you've been doing for a long time? I mean, it might sound a bit questionable to some, because they might think to myself, oh, why would I want to go through this stage? Why would I come to Earth and go through these really traumatic circumstances or real trauma to start with? Even I've questioned it. I've gone through a lot that I would think if I had a choice, I wouldn't have gone for. But I have to keep remembering our awakening had to be triggered by circumstances that really shook us to the core, which in turn gave us no other option but to step out of whatever illusion we were in, relearn who we are, what we stand for, get obviously a lot stronger, and create a new existence for ourselves that what would be deemed as something built on more of a firmer foundation. I mean, it all makes sense to me because I've gone through the process. I've seen myself go through my life thinking and then had this massive shake-up in the last year. And as part of my healing and getting through to the other side, I've managed to learn so much about who I am, grow, and become the best version that I can be. The mission that we're here to do is not for just ourselves. I guess it's for the collective. That's why we agreed to come and do it beforehand. Plus, our soul needs to grow. It needs certain experiences to grow. That's the other aspect why we come back, to keep experiencing, learning, and therefore, depending on where you are on the evolution chain, your soul will keep growing. Your soul will keep experiencing things, and therefore, it will keep wanting to ascend to a higher existence. So it has to basically finish what it has to do on this plane. I'm really curious as to how many others feel they are going through this. I find it really exciting, even though a lot of it has been quite difficult. How do we know we're part of this great awakening, this mass awakening, or we're part of the 144,000 that were always ordained, prophesied to be part of God's kingdom? Yeah, about that. That itself is a fallacy. Obviously, that's too small a number considering the amount of people on this planet. I mean, I've since discovered that 144,000 is actually a frequency. And it's associated with a particular vibration that promotes an awakening within certain people. And one in which we respond, and it gives us that deep intuitive memory and helps us to remember that state of being, that state of who we actually truly are. And with that knowledge, and if you are really part of it and you're experiencing that great awakening, you'll agree that this also comes with a great amount of responsibility and, of course, sacrifice. It's not about yourself necessarily anymore. You know, you're getting guidance from spirit, so sometimes you have to sacrifice your own thoughts and your own ways of being in order to be a channel for the divine. There'll no longer be a desire to spend your time frivolously. Well, it depends on what you call frivolous. In my opinion, when you're ready to ascend, you are in a point in your life when you're you've experienced all the worldly things and you are now ready to live your experiences from a different place. Just the experiences that are going to balance your mind, body and soul. That becomes your biggest goal. Just to maintain peace of mind and alignment. I mean, even if we just manage to align and liberate our own self, that alone would change the course of things for our family lineage and the next generations to come. If you've got children, just imagine what they're being taught as opposed to what we were taught as children. You'll be changing the path of history and passing down doctrine that is, you won't be passing down the doctrine our parents will receive from their grandparents. Would be given a more evolved, empowering version. And that will show them that the world has no limitations apart from the limitations we actually put on ourselves. They'll be able to choose to vibrate and become whoever they choose to be. It's such an exciting time. Are you aware of the different dimensions our souls travel and the different journeys it experiences? So sometimes the battles we feel and the struggles we're going through and we can't actually put our finger on, it's not actually happening here on the 3D and can be part of a warfare that's taking place in the 5D. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. However, if you're a spiritual being and are in tune to your intuition, you'll be able to pick up on what's going on and learn ways to decipher what lies behind certain things and behind the surface of a lot of things. Just like radio waves, spiritual information is constantly being broadcasted. It's been there, it's all there around us. So it's just a matter of learning how to tune into it. Like tuning into the right frequency, like what you do on a radio. What tools are you going to use? What tools are you going to use to be on the right frequencies? If you're being bombarded with information, that's another thing you're going to have to practice. And that's where all the talk I'm always going on about, like breathing exercises, meditation, salt baths, anything that helps to cleanse so that there's, you're doing away with old information, old tension that you might hold in your body, anything that renews you, basically. We have things to do. We are here to remember and retrieve our consciousness. That's why we chose to come back. That's the reason why we continue to come back to this earth time and time again, to reincarnate, so that when we've come here enough times, learnt the lessons we haven't mastered in previous lifetimes. So if our soul is to grow in the process, in evolution, and to move on to a higher consciousness, we have to be receptive to the lessons that we are being given and what we're here to learn. These are the things that will bring us to our greatness, bring our soul to the greatness most of all. I'm not talking about material greatness or abundance in that sense. I'm talking about creating a high level relationship with yourself so that you can be your fullest. There's so many things that are, involved. Obviously, I don't have enough time to do it in this one video. But which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the road of least resistance, as Abraham Hicks would say? Or are you going to continuously hold on and fight for all the things that are not necessarily fulfilling or even making you happy, but because it's familiar or doesn't require that you step out of your comfort zone or try something different, you become stuck in that particular way of living. This 3D experience, isn't it? All it's going to do is make you keep coming back and repeating life experiences that aren't necessarily the best. This isn't for me. This is my last time. I'm learning. I'm not coming back. Yeah, it's been fun, but hey, I need to now ascend to the next dimension. So yeah, who's with me? So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. It's like, it's not for the faint-hearted, but it's also great because you see different depths of who you are and, you know, the happiness that comes with it as well. Knowing that it's an inside job, it's coming from you, and it's not dependent on whether somebody outside of you makes you happy or brings you something to create joy. It's brilliant. Anyway, until the next one, namaste.